What in Epstein's ghost is going on in here?
Man, I'm just hanging out, choking on this Mega Man 3 stage.
Yeah, this stage is real murder. Hey, is that on Genesis?
Yeah, man, it's a whole thing. It's a rare title, the Wily Wars.
Okay.
It's a whole thing, bro.
You know, personally, I can't believe you're playing this trash.
What in the hell are you talking about? The early Mega Man games are one of the best things that ever came out. And that's church, yo!
True, but Mega Man himself was a real piece of crusty smegma.
What is your dumbass even talking about?
Don't you know the story of Mega Man?
Hell yeah, I know it. Everybody knows it. It's all in the game.
Yeah, but I mean the story of real Mega Man.
Oh my god, what kind of nonsense is this?
So Wily and Light are in a dirty alley, throwing dice, just being completely gangster. Then Light rolls snake eyes and Wily's all like, pay up, sucker. And then Light's like, double or nothing, you pile of face tumors. And then Wily's all like, you ain't even got nothing, son. What can you even offer? And then Wily's like, I have a homicidal child robot soldier with a laser arm. And then Wily's like, you don't have one of those. And then Light's like, clearly lying, all like, yeah I do. I'm a super amazing, genius, badass scientist and engineer, bitch. And then Wily's like, all right, then I'll see you tomorrow, boomer. So then Wily went to his lab and worked all goddamn day and night through back-breaking labor till he finally made his masterpiece, an assassin robot child, fully fledged soldier that somehow looked like a 10-year-old boy.
This is already the worst thing I've ever heard.
Light's all like, here you go, and then he powers Mega Man on. And then Mega Man comes to life, and he's like, holy shit, I'm a real boy. What am I doing alone with these two creepy-ass old men? And then Light walks over to him to try to reset his configuration, and Mega Man pushes him back. He's like, get back, motherfucker, you don't know me like that. And then he shoots him in the dick. And then he turns to Wily, and he's like, Kobe, and then he shoots him in the dick too. And then he looks around, and he realizes he's alone. He's like, freedom! And then he runs out the door.
So wait, he shot their dicks off?
No. See, he didn't have complete control of the Mega Buster at this point, so it was basically more like just a hardcore nut tap. Then Wily looks at Light in disgust and is like, clearly you have no idea what the fuck you were doing. Now I'm gonna have to go build a whole army of fucking robots to rein his ass in. So then Wily went to his lab and worked all goddamn day and night, putting himself through backbreaking labor until he created several masterpieces. A whole legion of battle robots with odd themes.
Okay, so what do you mean by odd themes?
Oh shit, man. You had Cut Man, you had Spark Man, you had Spooky Man, you had Florida Man.
Quit messing around.
You had DJ Kinetics, you had Quest Man, you had the Nacho Man Sandy Cabbage.
Ooh, yeah.
And Panda.
Fuck you!
Okay, so then what happened?
So Mega Man's just sitting there, minding his own business, beating off to a retro issue of Game Informer when he hears commotion outside, and he's like, who the hell is interrupting my kung fu? And then he turns around and looks up, and he's almost surrounded by Wily bots. And then he's like, oh, fuck. But then Mega Man starts busting ass. He gets up and he's like, get fucked, bitch. Boom. GG, motherfucker. Pow. Get wrecked, son. Blam. And he murders all of them.
Wait, you mean he knocks them out, right?
No, I don't.
Well, did they at least take him in for android murders?
No, because it turns out that Dr. Wily was actually a neo-fascist, so taking him out made Mega Man a national hero, and they even gave his ass a medal. He was like, oh yeah, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Later on, Mega Man grew up a little bit and started wearing wife beaters and gold chains, started calling himself X, inspired by DMX. He'd just come in the room yelling, ayo bitch, everywhere he went. Ayo bitch, where the tacos at? Ayo bitch, is that Gucci? Ayo bitch, when Judge Judy come on? And then he'd get pissed off because he sucks playing at arcade games because he only has one hand, so he'd get frustrated and be like, fuck this fucking game. It's bullshit. It doesn't even have Wu-Tang in it. Mega Man became real popular at parties for binge drinking and being able to cook frozen pizza instantly. He would get a frozen pizza and be all like, kiss your DiGiorno, have an ass goodbye, and blam, that shit would be cooked instantly. You know, all the robot chicas would fight over Mega Man too. They'd be all like, ooh, girl, I'ma see what's mega about that man, you know what I'm saying? And then the other would be like, back off, you cyborg bitch, I'ma let him get in these energy tanks. Mega Man would be checking them out, but he had his eye on the one in red. Her name was Ro, and he was ready for it, talking about, I'ma get a piece of that robot ass. He walks up to the two eyeing him, and then Trombone tries to get his attention, and she's all like, sup boy, you wanna get freaky with some serve bots?
Huh. Well, did she at least do her evil laughter?
Probably, but then Mega Man was all like, do you mind? I'm trying to spit some game over here. And then he goes up to Roll and he's like, sup, baby? How about we get out of here and ad hoc networks? And then Roll's like, excuse me, Mega Man, but you're not just going to integrate circuits with me just like that. Mega Man, extremely confused, intrigued, and even a little horny, is like, okay, girl, I see you. Want to get shit-faced? And then they went shot for fucking shot all night long and left gracefully together.
Wait. That's complete bullshit. Mega Man and Roll are related.
They sure are. They even raised a baby called Roll Tide. But the reason Mega Man and Roll broke up is because Mega Man got robot crabs from Trombone and gave them to Roll.
Oh, goddamn.
She's all like, you're so disgusting. I can't believe I ever hooked up with your wannabe Pinocchio bitch ass. You dipstickless piece of rusted dog shit. I am so fucking done with you. And then Mega Man tried to say his piece, but she was like, no, save it for your midget bot loving whore. And then she just got the fuck out of there. Destroyed, devastated, depressed, Mega Man hit rock bottom and he wanted some robot drugs. So he was like, dang, I should really get some robot drugs. But then he OD'd off a black market power supply and was foaming at the mouth and shit. It really wasn't a good look. So then after that, Mega Man decided he should get some help. So he was like, damn, I should really get some help. So then he spent every single last dollar he had to graduate rehab. Then he adopted a dog named Rush and faded into obscurity.
Okay, wait. So that's it? He was never heard from again?
Well, no, about 2 years ago, there was a documentary featuring that he was actually now a line cook.
Oh my god, what is this bullshit? I hire a one-armed fucking robot and this is what I get? Hello? Is anyone home in there? Fuck this shit.
And that's the story of Christmas. I mean Mega Man.
Asshole.
Oh my goodness. Congratulations. You've made it all this way once again to episode 10, our season finale, Pouring Pixels.
Yes.
He's Crotto, mega bustin' since dial-up internet.
He's El Zacco, the only Wilybot reject ever.
It's true. But today, we are bringing it to you live with Mega Man Wily Wars on the Sega Genesis.
That is right. Now, Mega Man originally released on the NES. It was a very huge hit, spanning from 87 to 1990 with part 1, 2, and 3. There was others, of course, but we're going to concentrate on the Wily Wars, which finally released on Sega through Capcom via the Sega channel in 1994.
Got a Sega Genesis? Cool. Want to rule your friends for the rest of their pathetic little lives? Then call now to get hooked into Sega Channel.
Right. This particular title was really interesting. The compilation of the first 3 Mega Man games, making it over to Sega, had no shortage of drama behind it, right?
Right.
Capcom, being an early third-party developer of Nintendo, had a strong relationship with them, and so they did not want to bring their beloved intellectual property over to Sega while risking their Nintendo relationship.
That's right.
However, in 1993, they couldn't ignore the popularity and how well the Sega Genesis was doing in the US, so they conceded to letting them have a game. But they didn't give them a game full of original content. They gave them a compilation of games 1, 2, and 3 with bonus material at the end.
That's right. Yeah, it had extra bosses. It had the Wily Towers. And 1, 2, and 3 on the NES was a challenging game. Was challenging enough.
Right.
However, on the Genesis, it was just a lot more difficult.
Yep.
And they integrated that into the storyline on why it was a lot more difficult than it used to be on the original releases in the 80s and 90s.
Right. So essentially in the story, we've gone through Mega Man's 1, 2, and 3 between, like you said, 1987 and 1990. And then Wily realized he completely fucked it all up and goes back in time to get a second crack at it. Only this time he knows what he's doing. So how did that integrate into the actual game? They took away easy mode.
Yes.
There was only one mode, and it was hard. Another great thing about this Mega Man game is it was it was actually the first Mega Man game that you could save without having to memorize a password or any sort of code. It actually had a file save system. But the way the game actually released in the US made that absolutely obsolete. It was completely ironic.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, Sega Channel, the way it worked, if many of you guys don't remember, but you had to download a game to play it. And once you turned off the console, the Genesis, you had to download it again if you wanted to play it like the next day. Unless you left your console on all night or whatever, because you got to remember there was like dial-up back then.
Right. And it came through a coax cable too.
Right.
Yeah. And as soon as you turned the game off, the entire game download would stop with it. There was no hard drive space in these early consoles. There was no storage system consistent with the capability of taking a download and keeping it. So it doesn't matter how many times you got the file save in this game, it didn't matter because as soon as you turned it off, the entire download was gone and your saves with it.
Right.
Now the way this happened was really interesting. Again, we talked about how Capcom didn't want to screw up things with Nintendo. So when they decided to go ahead and give Mega Man to Sega, they didn't actually touch the coding themselves. They gave it to a firm called Minakuchi Engineering and had them reproduce it. Right. But to their credit, Minakuchi Engineering took the 16-bit capability and the source material and fucking killed it.
Yeah. I mean, the gameplay in the game remained the same.
Right.
You know, part 1, part 2, part 3 had essentially the run and gun. It had a similar system to Pokemon, which kind of has the rock, paper, scissors. You know, fire beats wood, so you got to beat a certain boss first.
Right. Electricity beats water.
Yeah.
Right.
Pick up that power and then go to that next stage yet. You know, beat the 6 bosses, 8 bosses, whatever Mega Man you're playing, and then go against Dr. Wily at the end. You know, it's usually the same formula. You know, but the graphics were done so much better. The music was Genesis, like it was just
yes, it was that distinct Genesis Mini sound, right?
Yeah.
They really took advantage of the fact that we had this 8-bit concept and we had to double the pixels on it. And they really did a good job of not making it too askew or obscure from the original material. It looks like a graphically updated Mega Man.
Right.
Now let's think about that. We get HD remakes of games all the time, right? But in the early 90s, nobody ever thought of having a recreation on another title being so impressive.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We see games like Devil May Cry and things of that nature come out later and they look beautiful, but essentially the same game. But that's a new concept, something that was very foreign back in the day. Right. And that's what makes it unique. You know, it never saw a physical release in the US, but EU got one on the Sega Mega Drive.
Right.
And then I believe Japan got one. But
yeah, they got the Rockman version.
Yeah, the Rockman version. It's essentially the same game by a different title. And so this particular game got cartridge releases everywhere but the United States.
That's right. And you know, there was reproduction copies that have been out, and that's one of the few games that you don't get shunned of for getting a repro copy in the US because there's no other way to get it.
Right. If we call back to episode 1 when we did Blades of Vengeance, we talked about how reproduction copies are something you want to look out for, but are available if you can't find original cartridges. But in the real deal retro gaming community, to not have an original is kind of something you'd roll your eyes at. That's not the case with Mega Man Wily Wars because it simply did not exist.
Yes, and it was a European copy for the US Sega Genesis. Now, luckily, because I was begging Sega as well when I heard about the Genesis Mini right there.
Right.
And I was just as shocked as most of the internet. They released the Wily Wars right on the Genesis, so we finally actually get an official US release where we don't have to download it constantly.
And we can actually use the save system, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Earlier this year in 2019, the Sega Genesis Mini released, and having Wily Wars on it really finally gave the US commercial audience a chance to experience it. You had to be diehard and have an infinite communication line to your Sega Genesis to even complete the game back in the day. But now, it can finally happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this season finale episode of Pouring Pixels, we are absolutely getting blasted by Austin Beerworks' latest seasonal release, Lazer Salad
My goodness. You are absolutely right. Lazer Salad by Austin Beerworks. This beer is a double IPA, and no better way to honor the super fighting robot, Mega Man.
Super fighting robot, Mega Man.
Are you alright?
Who knows? Then with the beer that is potent and coming in small packages. Certainly, just like the pint-sized Blue Bomber himself, these beers, as you can see, come in an 8-ounce can. They're actually known as side salads. Get it, Lazer Salad, side salads, internally at ABW. Now, 2 years ago, this beer was brewed, and Austin Beerworks realized they had stumbled across something so powerful, they had to responsibly can it in these small, tiny slugs. This beer is incredibly potent, a kind of slow, effective, good poison, if you will. And also, something that we have been advised multiple times today by several people, something we should absolutely not chug what the fucksoever.
Kids, don't do this at home.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. We'll do better next season. For the last time in 2019, he's been Crotto.
He's been El Zacco.
And you've been fantastic. Thank you for liking and subscribing.
Thank you. Woo! And that's church, yo!